Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to another episode. I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I have an amazing guest who's joining me today. Today's episode is about, from the title, I'm sure you're thinking like, is this it? Like, what does that mean, Adele? But it's basically about women who start and build great careers only to wake up and ask themselves, is this it? Even when they have the great job, the great title, the amazing experience, they're working for the top companies, but sometimes they still feel like something's missing. And this concept came up when I was talking to the guest who I'm going to have on this week. She said to me, she went through, like, she was doing all the right things and she went through a phase and then she was like, is this it? And I was like, that resonated with me so much. And for some women, it happens when they become mums. For others in their 30s and 40s, I know some of you listening are feeling like that now or have felt like that. And it's that feeling of being stuck, even though it feels like maybe everything looks good, everything looks right on paper. But one thing I will say is that a lot of women will stay stuck in this feeling. They'll stay stuck in this place, even when they're unhappy. But that's because that's what we've been taught. But my next guest, who I've got on today, she had the courage to make that change. So today's guest is Tathiana Machado. She's a former McKinsey consultant and head of strategy at a leading tech company. And she worked across 4 continents. But after more than a decade in high-powered roles, Tathiana realized that despite the success looking good on paper, which we always talk about on this podcast, something was missing. She had all the things, you've just heard all the things that I've said, but she still felt something was missing. So she made the bold move. Like I said, you've got to have some courage. And she left the corporate world. She left that job that looks amazing on paper to become a career coach. And now she helps professionals who feel stuck to build their careers, to do things that they actually like, and to find the courage to make meaningful change. So, guys, without further ado, let me introduce Tathiana. Hey, Tathiana, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. What an amazing introduction. Thank you.
You're
I'm
very
so
welcome.
excited for this conversation today.
Oh, me too. When we met, it was so lovely because when you said, is this it? It resonated with me so much because I felt that feeling more than once in my career. So when you said it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the perfect phrase to sum it up because sometimes we can't put it into words. We're just like, what is missing? What is wrong? And it is like, is this it? Like, isn't there more to what's going on? So tell us a bit about like your career background, and when was the moment that you felt like, is this it?
Yeah. So my background, I started studying engineering because I come from Brazil, and then in Brazil you can either become an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, basically. If you like for your parents, if you want to
Yeah.
succeed, you only have those options. So I decided to study engineering because I was good in math and physics and stuff. And already in the university, I was like, is that it? Is this really what I want to do? But I mean, I was like 18. I didn't have a lot of options. I didn't have the means to do something different, and I didn't even know what I want because, like, I think, and this is something I think we're gonna discuss a lot in this episode. I think this is something that we as women, especially in our generation, we were kind of like raised to follow a path that your parents or the society decides for you, right? So I for me it was like, okay, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. Then I finished university, I joined consulting. But in the
Mm.
beginning, it was, yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it was fun because I was very young and I had this like bougie lifestyle, traveling, fancy hotels and stuff. But once I really understood the job and like what I needed to do, I was like, okay, is that it? Like, I'll do this forever. And then I went to do an MBA in France, which was good for me. I think it opened my mind in so many ways. And it was the first time that I saw other options and other ways of living and working, because I did this MBA with people from all around the world. But then after that, after my MBA, I had to come back to consulting. Then after a while, decided to leave for tech. But I was working in strategy with ex-consultants, so it was more or less the same thing. And I keep like feeling, is that it? I'll be 30 years doing slides and have my calendar back to back with meetings, meetings to prepare for other meetings that prepare for other meetings that result in follow-up meetings, that you have to do more slides.
Yeah.
I was like, is that it? It's not possible. And that I worked a lot. Like I studied a lot. I worked a lot, always like in consulting. All my let's say young years, or like 20 something, beginning of 30s, I was working a lot. So at
Mm.
some point, I start to think like, what, like why I am working that much if it's only increases, like if it only gets worse. I work more, I have more responsibility, and and this feeling that it keeps on growing inside me. I always like had this, but then when I became a mom, for me it was definitely motherhood that that really opened my eyes. I was like, no, it's not it.
Yeah.
I don't want. I want to be able to be a mom that it's more present
Mm.
on the daily activities, present physically, but also mentally present. I wanted to be in a good mental state that I could sit on the floor and play with my baby and not being stressed or without patience, which something I could not do because I was always extremely stressed and overwhelmed and anxious because of work. I think in part because deep down inside me, I knew I was not happy. It was not my path. So it always took a heavy mental state for me. I never dealt with work in a, I think, in a healthy way. So when I became a mom, I realized, yes, this is not what I want to do. Then I started to reflect what I really wanted to do, and what I really wanted to do is work with people. I feel that now that I'm a coach, is not a job. It's my calling. I want to help people, and I want to help people, especially in the same situation that I lived, you lived, a lot of people listening to us today lived. I want to be this support and taking their hands and help them to find something that they will feel more fulfilled.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love how you put that and how you talked about your story and how you had a few little moments even at university of like, is that it? Like,
Yeah.
and you're right. You said like when you're in your 20s and then you get to 30, you're thinking, okay, I've been working so hard, so hard, so hard. Am I just going to keep on having more responsibility, more work? Like, what more is there, especially when you're
Yeah.
not doing the job that feels aligned? And I think something that's really important that you said that I want to touch on was that you were like in Brazil. You said that like doctor, lawyer, engineer is like the
Yeah.
only job that will like please your parents. And I know a lot of my listeners like will understand this because I'm from a Caribbean background. Like my mum's from
Mhm.
Jamaica, my dad's from Grenada, and it was the same. If you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you are rubbish. Why are you even existing here?
Yeah.
Engineer, like top job. And I remember like I disappointed my mum because I wasn't any of those things. Like you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, have to be an engineer, you have to be one of those top jobs that has, the top title that people will look at and that's what they respect. And I think for a lot of people, we try to please our parents. And
Yeah.
then this is why we sometimes end up in jobs that look good on paper. They look good to all the people looking in, but they don't feel good. And you mentioned like you feeling overwhelmed with your daughter. And that was something we both spoke about. That for me, when I decided to change career, it wasn't that I went into my business. I just went into a new industry because when I had my daughter, I was just overwhelmed. Like you said, I was always stressed. I was stressed about, for me, it was like I was a bit stressed about money because I was a teacher and, they don't earn very much money.
Yeah.
Um, I also was like stressed throughout the day because I was working with other people's kids and I was having fun at work. But then when I go home, I just want to relax. But obviously that means that my daughter doesn't get any time. And then I would feel guilty. So it was really similar to you. Like it was just that feeling of work is taking away from my home life. Work is taking away from me being a mum. And something has to change. And also I think for me, I wanted my daughter to know, like, you don't have to stay in a job and be unhappy. Like,
Exactly.
I really wanted my child to understand that. Like, I was like, oh wait, I'm a mum, and what am I teaching her? I'm basically just teaching her the same stereotype. Like, I'm not happy, but I'm going to keep staying because that's what you're supposed to do. So I love the way you talked about that. And I think, like, when you were talking about, just like you said, like like wanting to please your parents and like the certain jobs, we are all taught that you should know what you want to do from a young age because your parents, they already know what they want you to do. But we're taught that you should also know what you want to do from a young age so that you can study, get the good grades,
Yeah.
and then grow a long-term career. But how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel that everyone knows what they want to do when they're like really young?
Nobody knows. Who knows? No, honestly, I was just thinking right now. I mean, first, you are like 17, 18.
Hmm.
You know nothing. Like
Hmm.
even my haircut back then was like a mistake. Like, honestly, like my style and anything. Like even the songs I liked, I don't like it anymore. I think it's very hard to really know, like at such a young age, uh, because also, I mean, first, you are not mature enough. Second, you don't have this big perspective on the world around you to take an informed decision on what you want to do, right? I think
Mm.
at least like I took this decision based on, of course, the options that my parents gave to me and the subjects that I was good in school, and the fact that I would faint if had to do a surgery on someone, so but as that, like, if not, I didn't have a full understanding of the market, of the engineer role in the world and in Brazil. So Brazil, for example, is not a country that um, produces technology. So when you are an
Mm.
engineer, you are basically, let's say, managing a factory or like technology that you bought from another country. And when I decided to do engineering, I thought I would be creating technology. I said, how I build those amazing things, which is impossible in Brazil. And I didn't know this, like when I joined the university. I find out later on. So I think we are not informed enough. And second, the world is changing so fast. I was just thinking, like, I don't know, imagine when you were in university, could you imagine that now, 2025, we would have, for example, AI so developed?
Mhm. Right?
You know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, how can you prepare for this? How can you prepare for something that you don't even know it will exist in like 10, 15 years ahead of you? And again, we're gonna work many more years, right? I think everyone in all countries in the world, I don't think we're gonna ever retire. So I don't even know what else will come like to our life in 15 years more down the road, in 20 years. So how can you really take a decision and be held accountable for this decision for 30, 40 years?
Oh,
Really?
so true. I totally agree with you. And I love the way you put it. Like the fact that, listen, when we was young, 18, even our hair and our clothes, we don't know what we want. Like, so how is someone asking us to make these huge decisions? And also, like you said, the world changes. So why wouldn't we change? Like,
Exactly.
the world has evolved. Like, you're right, AI. When we were picking our subjects at school, we weren't thinking about any of these things. But we were taught that, okay, but you should just stay the same. You should just pick your job and stay there. And actually,
Yeah.
that's one of the hardest things. And I think society makes it seem normal. But like you said, I don't think any of us, I think there are a few people, like a small amount of people, that really knew what they wanted to do when they were young and they did it and they enjoy it. But I
Yeah.
think the majority of us, either we're pretending or
Yes.
we just suck it up. You know that feeling like, oh, just suck it up and do the job.
Yeah.
Like we're not
Yeah.
enjoying it anymore, but we're like, we have to do
Yeah.
it now because you know that saying, you made your bed, you have to lie in it. Like we've been taught like, okay, but that's what you chose. You've been doing it maybe 10, 15 years. Okay, then you have to stay there because people are telling us
Yeah,
we have to.
yeah,
But I think exactly what you said, like, how can a young person know at
yeah. No,
18
no one
what they
knows.
want to, like what they want to do for the rest of their life? We
Yeah,
don't even I don't even think we're equipped with we don't even have enough life experience.
exactly. But I think like now, because you said like most of people they are sucking up. I think that
Mhm,
most of people, yes, they are sucking up. Even
mhm,
our parents, I remember when like I had some conversations with my parents back then, and they were like, "Yeah, but work is like this. You're gonna
mhm,
have a horrible boss.
mhm.
Yes, you're gonna do things you don't like, but I mean, it's what you need to do to, to pay the bills, to have your independence." Like my parents never told me, I am completely passionate about what I do. My
Yeah.
dad is a lawyer. He never
Oh,
told me
nice.
this. Oh, I love being a lawyer. Like, my mom
Yeah.
was an accountant, but she never
Mhm.
said like anything like, yes, I absolutely love like, I don't know, accountant. Like,
Yeah.
nobody said this. But I think that most of people they suck it up or they settle.
Mhm.
They said like, yeah, I mean that's it.
Mm.
And I think there are a few people, or a percentage of the population that's like me and you, that has a personality where we cannot settle. And
Yes.
and I 100% am like this. I cannot settle. I don't accept. I have this. For me, I think like I am in this life to be happy, so
Mhm.
I cannot settle for anything that is bothering me in any level. And like you said also, I loved when you said in the beginning that you were thinking about the example that you're giving to your daughter.
Mm.
Since I became a mom, it even like more, I feel almost like an obligation,
Yeah.
from me to my daughter, that I have to live a life that I am happy and I am proud of, because I want
Yes.
her to feel, um to be allowed to feel that she's allowed. Because for me it was hard. I mean, I took the leap and I'm very happy today and we are having this conversation, but those decisions, they're not easy. They come out with a
Mm.
lot of stress and a lot of self-doubt. So I wish that my daughter, she's not like this. If she wants to change, she'll change, you see, and she'll say, yes, my
Yes.
mom changed and she succeeded and now change, and it's fine, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I cannot settle. I think you are the same. From what I know you, we
Yeah.
cannot accept, and that's the
Hun-
thing. And then for people that cannot accept, then we need the only option we have is to have the courage and take the leap.
100%, I agree with you. Like growing up, I never heard like, oh, you're meant to enjoy your job. I was just told, no, you go to do your job so you make money and pay bills. Like it was
Yeah,
never like no one like same as you. My parents weren't like, oh, I'm so happy about my job. They were just
yeah,
like, we have to go to the job. Like when you get older, you have to go to your job. Like it's not about being happy; it's about doing the job. That's what I was
yeah.
taught, and 100%. Like I just feel like, and you're right, at first I felt like I had to settle, but something in me was like, I'm not that type of person. Like, I choose happiness. Like, I tell everyone all the time, your happiness has no expiry date. So even
Exactly.
if you're not happy now, you can choose to decide to be happy. And I think what you just spoke about goes to my next question really, really well. Because you were saying, like, a lot of people will just settle. But what about the people that maybe are like us? They have it inside, but they're like, because I know a lot of my listeners, they don't want to settle, but they're feeling like, oh, taking the leap is scary. Just like you said, you were honest.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not like me and you just woke up and said, okay, that's it. We're just gonna change our whole life. No, because that you're leaving behind money, you're leaving behind a good job, you're leaving behind like education that you went and did and got paid. Like, not that you're leaving it behind, because everything, I believe everything comes with you. But in
Yeah.
your mind, it's like you're killing a part of the old you to start fresh. How do women how are women able to take that leap and change their career when they realize they're unhappy? Like, what can they do?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think that it doesn't come, all of a sudden, and it
Mm,
requires preparation and planning. And this is what I tell all my clients. I think a number one I always want to say, especially for women, is that you need to be financially ready. because I am like a real advocate that women need to have their own money, need to
Mhm.
be independent, to not be vulnerable in any situation, in a weird marriage, like all
Mhm.
those things that happen over there. So I think if you are to someone that is listening to us, and today, if you are, let's say, in corporate, you have a job but you're not happy, and you know that you're not happy, and you know that you want to do something else, start to put a bit of money on the side. Like, it's for you, it's for your future, it's to invest on your business, or is to help you to go through the beginning of the business, like, before the business really um take off. And the second thing is start to prepare for this new role. So do you have the skills? Do you have to do any type of training? The best way to do any training is while you are still employed by someone else.
Absolutely.
You start to do the training, like enroll for the training, start to do the training. If you are not 100% sure what you want to do, start talking to people. I mean, us, we met through LinkedIn, right? Like,
Mm,
start talking
yeah.
to people. um it's very rare that I try to talk to someone and the person, like, is not open to share. So, like, LinkedIn is amazing for this, but not only LinkedIn. I'm sure, like, someone that studied with you in university, in school, your neighbor, that might work in something that you think it's interesting. Ask to talk to this person, go for a coffee, ask, like, a few questions. How is it for you? How is your, like, daily routine, to make sure you would like? What are the skills you need, the training you need? What is the salary? You start to do your research and start talking to people to really understand what you need, and start to prepare yourself and do a plan. And what I always tell my clients, even if your plan takes like 3 years to to finalize and to get to the place you want, it's fine. You have a plan every day. It's a one less day, is to get
Yes.
to your goal. So go and do slowly, and, like, put those tiny goals for this week or for this month, and start moving. And I truly believe that when we start to move, the universe also starts to move in our direction.
Hmm.
But if you're feeling and thinking, is that it every day, and you don't do anything, nothing is gonna happen. Like, there's not that your dream job or dream career will come to you. We need to start moving slowly, and with responsibility and preparation. And then, once you are all ready to take the leap, I'm 100% sure you're going to succeed, because if you're doing something that you're passionate about and you're prepared enough, it's impossible that you'll fail. I truly believe this. It might take a bit of time. Of course, you're going to have challenges. It's like nothing comes easy. But when you are passionate about and you do your homework, that's it.
Oh, thank you for saying that. And for all the listeners listening, go back and listen to that answer that Tatiana just gave, because she gave so many good gems, like so much good advice in that one answer. Like, I love how many different ways you talked about. You didn't just talk about make the plan, you talked about networking, you talked about speaking to your neighbors and your friends. Like, you talked about so many things. So I hope the listeners took that in. And if you didn't, guys, I need you to just rewind and I need you to re listen. I also love that you talked about timelines. I think as women, we try to rush everything and we don't talk about timelines. We always say, like, oh, I need to do it in 6 months if I'm going to do it, or I need to do it now, now, now. And I like that you said, listen, even if it takes 3 years, even if it takes 4 years, you're not going to be sad that it's when you get to the goal. Like, so just take your time. Everything is not going to be quick, quick, quick. I know so many women who try and they give up after like a month. They give up after 2 months because they say, Adele, I'm trying to book interviews, it's not coming. Or they say, like, oh, I want to start my business, but it's taking too long. I've been doing it for 6 months. I'm like, listen, small steps. And I like that you said that, because to me, that's really important, because we forget that it takes a long time to build the career we currently have. So how do
Exactly.
we think we're going to change in 1 week and we're going to be successful in the new career?
Yes.
It's like we forgot.
Yeah,
So
especially if it's entrepreneurship, right? Like, if you are building your own business, I mean, it's complicated, as much as you prepare for this leap, you're gonna find out things that you don't know. So
Right.
there's always like this learning curve in the beginning
Hmm.
when you are building your business, and those things take time. Like
Yes.
we need to be patient, and that's why I said it's important to have the financial side m- more or less accounted for, because otherwise you feel the pressure to have the results very quick, but it's very hard to get the results like that quick, you know.
Yes, I totally agree. Like having, I love that when you talked about having the finances in place, because I also agree with you that that for a lot of women is the foundation. And that was something I did even before I started, even before I changed, when I changed industry, and also when I changed into being an entrepreneur. Just making sure I felt like I had enough money saved, or had money to fall back on that felt good to me. Like there's not a specific number, everyone has their own number, but I like
Yeah.
that you said that, and I think it's really important. And that's why I just loved how you answered that question. So thank you so much for the way you answered it, because I think it's going to help a lot of people. Um, what would you like? We're told, like we are told as women, even men, we're all told that success, especially like in the corporate world, comes from when you keep pushing, when you keep pushing yourself, even if it's to the point of stress, to move up and to excel in your career. But do you agree with that kind of thought process?
Look, no. I will tell you why. You know, in coaching, I love asking my clients what are the meaning of things for them. So, what is the meaning of success for you?
Mm,
And this will be your success. I think it's even like the same for happiness. What is happiness? It's what is happiness for you. What is success for you, for your life, for your context, for your family, for this moment of your life? It might not be the same in 20 years. So I think it's very um, dangerous, even those statements, you know, that you need to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. Success for what? To have a title, to have a
mm,
money, you know. But I mean, me, I had the titles, uh but for me success was, on that moment when I decided to take the leap, was to be able to put my daughter to nap. You know, that
yeah.
was success. And I had the title, but then the nanny was putting her to nap. And I remember one day I told my husband, I was like, I envy so much the nanny, because I work the whole day, and I
Hmm.
am super stressed, and I'm tired, and I'm exhausted, and people think that my performance is horrible because I was postpartum, but my brain was fried. And then
Hmm.
during the night I was exhausted, but I have to wake up because I was breastfeeding. And while the nanny, she was playing with my daughter the whole day and sleeping the whole night. So I
Yeah.
like, you know, for me that was success back then. I wanted to be my nanny, you know. So of course, I mean, I was in a situation of privilege, like that. I had the financial conditions as well, but like I think this is the reflection, and I think some people, a lot of people, they still get fooled by the titles, by the money, by the lavish lifestyle. Is the car, is the apartment, many things, you know. But like, I mean, if this is success for you, fine, go for it. I think for a lot of people this is success. I'm not arguing on that. But
Hmm.
I feel that a lot of people, they have those things and they still feel that there's something missing. So I think for those, there is something in your definition of success that you are not achieving. And
Oh,
yeah, and this is the deep reflection.
oh, I like that. I like that. That's you've achieved what you think you wanted, but still you feel like something's missing.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I like how you put that. Like, where does your definition of success lie? I really like that you said just something as simple as playing with your daughter all day is what success looks like to you, or being able to, like that. People miss that part sometimes. Sometimes we're looking for all the external things, like the car, like you said, the house, the
Yeah.
money. And actually, the small things are what make us truly, truly happy. So I really like how you put that. So this conversation has been great. I'm loving this conversation. I feel like it's been such an amazing conversation. But what advice do you have to give anyone listening who has reached their this is that, like, is this it? Like, and I know, and you've already answered so well throughout this
Yeah.
podcast, but have you got any specific advice? Like, someone's listening right now, they're waking up every day and they're like, oh my gosh, is this it? Like they've hit that moment. What advice have
Yeah.
you got for them?
I think number one is listen to this question, because some people, a lot of people, they just say, ah, yes, that's it. Like, yes, my
Mm.
mom said that work is like this, so I have to suck it up. No, don't suck it up. I'm not telling you resign and no, but listen to it and say like, okay, there is something that is missing for me. There is something that it's not all right. What is it?
Mm.
And we are, of course, me and you, we did a big transitions in our career. But for some people, maybe you don't like to work with that in that team, but you like your company and you would like to do something else. Or maybe you are on that specific role for like 2 years and you're bored and you would like to do a different project, or you would like to have more visibility to senior leadership, or I don't know, or you'd like to just have a different hobby and learn something new. Like, transitions don't need to be like crazy and big. And yes, you are a doctor and then you decide to become an astronaut. Don't need to be as crazy as that. It's just, some, but I think it's important that we listen to ourselves. I think like we know exactly what we need, but sometimes we don't want to hear and we don't want to look at this feeling and to understand what is behind, so take a look, be honest with yourself, and see, and maybe you're gonna find other opportunities. You're gonna say, you're gonna have a conversation with your boss and say, look, I am in this role and I am a bit bored. Is there any project that I can be part of, and I learn something new or work with different people, and you might find out something amazing that you would love to do that will change the course of your career. Who knows, right? But be connected with yourself. I think this will be my advice. I think it's the beginning of any transition or any type of change you're gonna do in your life. You have to listen to yourself and be honest.
Oh, yes, I agree. You have to listen to yourself and you have to be honest because we all know what we truly want, but I think sometimes we're scared that we can't have it or that we've waited too long and that
Yeah.
we made the choice. Like we said, we made the choice and we have to stick to it. Um, and if anyone listening has even got a little bit of that feeling that me and Tatiana have been talking about through this episode, where you just feel like this can't be it. You don't want to settle. You don't want to have to suck it up. Then I hope that you've like really listened and taken it in, and I hope that you've enjoyed like listening to Tatiana and like her story, the things she's done. Like I loved meeting Tatiana when we got connected on LinkedIn. Like it was so amazing because I was like, she's saying all the things that I think I hear from all my clients. She's saying all the things that I hear from my friends, my family when we're sitting and
Yeah.
talking. Like you're saying the things that I think are way more common but people act
Yes.
like it's rare. Like people will say, "Oh, what you're talking about is rare," but actually, there's probably 80% of people feeling the same way but they
Yes.
just don't talk about it or they just say, oh, this is just how it has to be. So even if this conversation has helped like one person, I'm happy because I feel like you have shared so many vulnerable things in your life. You've also shared like how you did it and that the fact that it wasn't easy. You're not telling people, oh, you wake up tomorrow, quit your job. This is not what we're telling you.
Yes, this is not what we are saying.
No,
Please.
we're telling you have a plan, do preparation. Tatiana even said, see if you can do training while you're at a job. Like, why leave your job if you can get more from where you are? Then, when you're ready, look for jobs. If you want to go into entrepreneurship, start talking to people. We're not saying to you just burn your whole life down, but we are saying, have you got a plan to move your life forward so that you can be happy? And I think like that's what we are saying, right, Tatiana? You like
Yeah.
happiness is found when you make the decision and you kind of trust yourself and trust your gut.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
And when we take the leadership on our lives, right? And we are
Mhm.
not passive on the things happening. We are building the life we want.
Ooh, that was perfect. I love that. Thank you so much. Before I let you go, can you let the audience know how they can connect with you, how they can work with you, like tell them all the things. Also, listeners, I will put Tatiana's links in the show notes, like I always do. So whenever I have a guest, you guys know I put all their links in the show notes. So they will be there and you'll be able to connect with her. However, Tatiana, tell people where can they find you, how can they work with you?
Yeah, so everyone can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active. So if anyone just is if you're listening to this episode and you like and you want to send me a message, I'll be super happy to talk. If you feel that you are in this moment of your career and you need a bit of help to understand what you really would like to do, or you feel that something is blocking you, I'll be also very happy to help. So please connect it with me on LinkedIn. The link is in this episode, but is my LinkedIn is very easy, Tathiana Machado. I have my website as well. It's mbmcoaching.org. So also you can connect with me over there. And I mean, I'm open to have this conversation because I really, really, really believe that, like we said, there's a lot of people feeling the same way. And I want everyone to be happy, especially women. I mean, men, I like you too, but you know, but I really want like women to find the right place for them in the world and be happy with it. So anyone that wants to send me a question or just like have a conversation, I am super available. And thank you so much, Adele, for inviting me. I It was a lovely conversation. I am so
Oh,
happy.
thank you so much for being here. Like this, I feel like this episode is gonna touch a lot of people. It's gonna resonate with people. I feel like it's gonna help a lot of people to even just start their day one of like making a change that they maybe wanted to make for years. So I want to thank you so much for coming, for sharing your story with my audience, for giving us amazing tips and advice. Like so many gems were dropped in this episode. So I really appreciate you being on here. Guys, make sure you go and connect with Tathiana. If you've enjoyed the episode, make sure you share it with someone else. Because, like we said, people might not be talking and saying these things out loud, but they're probably feeling it. So, share it with a friend, a family member, like it, leave us a comment, ask us any questions as well. And yeah, just thank you for listening, guys. And Tathiana, thank you again for being with me. And, guys, I will speak to you in the next episode. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.